going to motivate you to get in that sky.
For a while, no one made any money as a paramotor instructor. Everyone complained about the prices of it. And then I'd look at all the paramotor instructors living out of their vans and be like, do you think they're getting rich on this? But now that's changing. And there's a couple, they're business owners, of course. You know, they've got people working for them. But I think there's a couple millionaire or multimillionaire flight schools. So
yeah. Well, that's good. It's a bizarre sport. I hope it keeps growing because I like niche sports that sort of push the boundaries of like little legal things and I really have always appreciated those ultralights. That I guess I saw that thing. I don't even know if it qualifies as an ultralight. I think it's a glider technically. I always saw that GIF on Reddit of the guy who looks like he's holding a big model plane like you'd build with airplane glue, and then he like puts it on his shoulders, runs a little, and then tucks into that son of a bitch somehow like a contortionist.
Oh yeah,
and then now he's the fucking pilot, and he just flies away. And I got
to lose a lot of weight before I get into
I think it is an ultralight. If it weighs less than 255 pounds, that means it qualifies under those less restrictive ultralight rules.
So he's still carrying 200 plus pounds of fake airplane on his shoulders and arms and stuff. That seems very dangerous. You don't want to be heavier in the air.
It looked like he.
This is not the video, but this is still let me tell you, you might think this guy's a nerd right now. This guy is so don't give a fuck about his this is probably a $15,000 or $20,000 like toy that he's got that he's playing with, and that's why he's sitting so rigid. He's scared he's gonna break this bitch
on an active runway at O'Hare. Those
things are cool though. You ever see the disappointment in those guys' faces when they crash? Because they're expensive.
Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't want to watch wait, how expensive? Like thousands of dollars?
Like tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I like it the other way. I like it when they crash a $15,000 model airplane and they're like, yeah, I mean, we all knew we fly it until it crashed. Like this was the expected outcome.
From what it's the eventual outcome if you keep flying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they have that in mind. I think the engines are the more expensive part, and like 9 times out of 10 with a crash, the engine survives. It had to be a hell of a crash to damage the engine, but the rest of that thing is as light as it can possibly be, right?
And the electronics in it. Like there's all sorts of automatic leveling, gyroscope insanity that they can reuse.
So cool. I as a kid, I was fascinated with anything remote control. I don't know why I never got into the drones. Like everybody got super into those drones, and to me, it just seemed.
What does that say? It's too small.
It's expensive, and there's a huge learning curve.
Oh, $5,000 is cheaper than I expected.
That's cheaper than I expected as well.
Same.
See related products for turbines and upgrades. Maybe that doesn't come with an engine.
I don't know.
Well, that's neat though. I'm Oh, that's really cool. You can just buy these jet engines, huh?
Yeah, but there's like $4,000 a pop, and he needs 2. So.
Yeah, and these are little like airplane engines. You can get the big silly ones for cheap, like leftover surplus off of a goddamn airplane jet engines. You can buy them and strap and do whatever you want with them.
For what? Like, what could you use it for?
There's that clip thing I sent. I maybe sent it to you guys. I know I sent it to my dad because he was like, "How much do those cost?" And this guy's on like a trike in the desert with a big Santa beard, and he has a jet engine strapped to the back of this thing, and he is moving on some salt flats. And the thing turns cherry red, all of the like exhaust tubing back there, and the outlet engine part is big. Like it's not like we're gonna take off on a runway big, but like I don't want that thing behind me big. Jet engines are scary.
Yeah,
I guess
I would want to use it they looked fun. You remember in Jackass when they like threw footballs up in that jet stream and like were hitting the other guys with it and like just walking into the air, and it was powerful enough to like not only knock them over but like kind of take them off their feet a little bit. That would be cool. Really demonstrates the power.
That's a different situation. That's a fucking jet dragster.
That's the scariest thing of all the things we've talked about before so far. That's just literally strapping a rocket to a car. And it mortifies me how skinny and thin they are, and those little front wheels, you can see them wobble when they race. Could you imagine being in that and slamming into a wall at like 400 miles an hour?
Oh, there's a person in that.
Yeah.
Of course there's a person in that. It's a drag race car.
I thought it looks like
I think those are the ones that go like 330 miles per hour. And doesn't John Forrest have the record for like highest speed ever in a drag car? I think it was around 330.
John Force. With a name like that, he has to have the record.
For a while, he had a reality show on like CMT or
Jason
something.
Speed.
He's got 3. I think he's got 3 blonde, pretty daughters who all drive as well. And so it was like, I don't know what the show was called. It was like Team Force or something. And there's like him and his daughters like training to race. Like one of them caught on fire, and there's like, do we keep doing this? I could have lost all the skin on my legs. You know, we're this close. Like, and there's a lot of that. It was a neat show.
Yeah, a lot less pretty with no skin, if I had to guess.
Yeah, you'd be a lot less pretty with no skin. Doesn't he look like a nice guy? Like just a good dad? I don't know. I feel like he's a fun guy to hang out with.
Yeah, he looks like a great. How can you tell?
Look at him. He looks like a nice guy. You don't think so?
I can tell from the mustache he's a good father, I guess.
I don't know. He seems like a good guy to me.
I like his. He wears a lot of rings. Or I guess anything more than one ring is a lot of rings.
Yeah, I was about to say those are championship rings.
See, I don't like. That's a little gaudy. Like Brady doesn't wear his.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, I've seen when people ask him,
shit where he's like, I don't know who's the best, really, and they're like all over his hands, like the same shit Jordan.
You can't wear those all the time.
Yeah, I mean, if you have championship rings, you'd have to wear them sometimes.
Well, he's doing a press shoot there, so like where he lays on the ground with his daughters behind him. It's ring time.
He's only got one.
The
championship
Deegans?
ring?
Are you familiar with them?
The Deegans?
No.
They're interesting in the same way you mentioned. So it's this guy. I think his first name is Brian Deegan. He's popular on YouTube, and all his kids are future stars at shit. So he got a gold in the X Games for like stunt motocrossing, like half pipe motocross or something insane like that, where he takes a dirt bike, goes 60 feet in the air, does triple flips and lands and all that. Well, he's grown children that race motocross. His daughter is in the NASCAR truck series, and his other son is young, so we don't judge him yet. He's a little guy. And he's just sort of documenting his life, where like he's like, this guy's a future motocross champion. My daughter here is a in the NASCAR thing. It's a good looking family too.
Yeah, that's super smart to do though, because those are sports that are like sort of popularity driven as much as anything, right? Like if you're a star, like we don't care how many times Conor McGregor loses, if we're being honest. Same with Nate Diaz. I like him on my screen because I don't care because he doesn't care, you know. and so like the same thing is here. If you get introduced to that fucking shithead on the left there at this age, and like for the next 8 years while he matures and learns to drive go-karts or whatever, you start liking him. By the time he gets to the big show, doesn't matter how great he does. He's dude. This guy's
that guy on the left. I actually like him. For one, like, so I ride motorcycles. He's so much better than me. He's stupidly good. Like,
he's got the genes for it.
I guess, dude. And the practice and the work he puts in. He has private coaches. His name is Danger Boy. I don't know how I left that out. The guy on the left, everyone calls him Danger Boy, and he just jumps his bike like 50 feet in the air. It's fun to watch.
Did any of you guys growing up literally copy your father's haircut? I need to know that before I start making fun.
No.
I didn't have any input on my haircut as a kid. I was going to comment on it too, and I was going to say a good thing. That's a racing man's haircut. You're wearing helmets all day. You don't want side hair. Like that's a raceman's.
How do you know?
That's the cut of a racist.
That is.
I'm a motorcycle racist.
I like this family. I've seen them. I will say the kids sometimes seem a little unaware of how amazing their lives are. Like they have new friends over and they're all racing like side by sides around a track, jumping them in the air. And of course, all of them are very good at it. Yet their friends are like, how does a stick shift work? And to them, the friend is the weird one. They're like, you can't ride a side by side? Like really at all? Like you're scared to jump it? Okay, like you're a weird one. And it's like, no, she's normal. You're weird. You're amazing, but not normal.
They're extraordinary. That's good. That's fine.
Better phrasing.
You know?
Yeah,
these kids
it's
are all
what you get used to
at whatever they do. Mm-hmm. You know, they're starting early at like instead of I don't know. I hope they're not wasting their time at school.
I think they're homeschooled. That one on the left,
going to college.
He's on the best motocross team, the one where champions come from, and He was really good. I'm not good enough to say whether he earned his spot or whether social media helped him on his spot, but he's on like Yamaha Star or something like that.
I would have asked Zach to take it down by now, but I've been staring at this guy's daughter for a while.
I saw her. She was racing in this NASCAR series. They invited her, and the other men didn't like the way she drove. So they're like hazing her, like, you bumped, you rubbed racing, you did this and that. And she's like, just standing up for herself in what I thought was an impressive way. Not only is she a woman, which is a bit of a deficit, when you're in an argument with some guy, but she's half the other person's age. So this 40-year-old is like giving this 20-year-old shit about the way that she managed her race car. And she's like, rubbing's racing, man. You don't like it, you deal with it. And I was like, fuck yeah. Like, everyone's rubbing out there, and he's picking on you because he wants you to be more polite while racing. Suck a dick.